అయిపోతే చూసుకో కానీ ఇది తీసేయండి. Take this off. We need a normal knife. That knife is too big. Yeah, try this. No, it won't be. It won't be look nice. Put this from this paper and not put it there. Yeah. Not there? No knives there? Okay, fine then. Okay, right. Everybody come here. We'll have a Guru Purnima cake. Come.
She bakes like a eggless cake. So in town, like we always look for eggless cakes. So we got to know one of our meditator does.
Jaya Ho, 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 Jaya Ho. Atmavidya Jaya Jaya Ho, Brahmavidya Jaya Jaya Ho, Santosha Vidya Jaya Jaya Ho, Arogya Vidya Jaya Jaya Ho, Nirvana Vidya Jaya Jaya Ho, Shwasa Vidya Jaya Jaya Ho, Divya Shwasa Vidya Jaya Jaya Ho, Dhyana Vidya Jaya Jaya Ho, Divya Dhyana Vidya Jaya Jaya Ho, Jaya Ho, Jaya Ho, Jaya Ho, Jaya Ho. Sankalpa Shakti Jaya Jaya Ho, Ichha Shakti Jaya Jaya Ho, Jnana Shakti Jaya Jaya Ho, Karma Shakti Jaya Jaya Ho, Swadhyaya Shakti Jaya Jaya Ho, Prana Shakti Jaya Jaya Ho, Divya Prana Shakti Jaya Jaya Ho, Atma Shakti Jaya Jaya Ho, Divya Atma Shakti Jaya Jaya Ho, Jaya Ho, Jaya Ho, Jaya Ho, Jaya Ho. Satya Ahimsa Jaya Jaya Ho, Shaucha Santosha Jaya Jaya Ho, Shraddha Diksha Jaya Jaya Ho, Buddhi Prajna Jaya Jaya Ho, Maitri Karuna Jaya Jaya Ho, Divya Maitri Karuna Jaya Jaya Ho, Samata Shanti Jaya Jaya Ho, Divya Samata Shanti Jaya Jaya Ho, Jaya Ho, Jaya Ho, Jaya Ho, Jaya Ho. ज्ञान विश्व जय जय हो ज्ञान भारत जय जय हो दिव्य ज्ञान भारत जय जय हो जय हो जय हो आरोग्य विद्या जय जय निर्वाण विद्या
That cake will be there. Anytime you can walk up and eat. All right.
Welcome to this program called Excellence Through Meditation. Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam. Yoga means here we're talking about meditation. Karma means actions or anything that we do, and Kaushalam is a greater than efficiency.
Everything in the world is connected and interdependent. Ultimately, to arrive at true oneness,
Welcome to this program called Excellence Through Meditation. Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam. Yoga means here we're talking about meditation. Karma means actions or anything that we do, and Kaushalam is a greater than efficiency.
everything in the world is connected and interdependent. Ultimately, to arrive at true oneness, a person needs to do a lot of inner work and self-reflection. So, nothing can be better than the method of meditation.
I had a car accident and I couldn't sit or stand for more than 15 minutes. So I started meditation lying down in bed, and now, power of meditation, I can sit for 2 hours on the floor.
I can just say that I have greatest gratitude towards what I found. It's kind of like this is what I was looking for.
I'm into a field which is insurance industry, and which creates a lot of stress. By doing meditation, the stress level became zero.
The ability to take things in your stride has improved for me. The way you handle it and how quickly you come out of it, the resilience part of it, is something that I found good.
I have to face this challenge of taking my father for a surgery. So in front of me, I'm visualizing that dad is going in, they are doing the surgery, and I'm wheeling him out. And the way I had visualized, it happened.
At the end of the session, you say gratitude. My whole body gets full of energy and joy. The way what you are using the word gratitude.
For the first time, I've actually really started to fall in love with something, and it is meditation.
In my lower L3, L4, I was having an issue. It's completely been cured with the regular meditation.
The personal as well as the professional front, it has broken a lot of limiting beliefs that I had about what we could do as an organization and what I can do as an individual.
When we came to this world, dear friends, we also came with an answer, that is the breath. So for every question that we have in our life, the solution is our breath.
Last 2019 to till now, I got 2 times promotion. I'm very calm, composed. I read a lot of books. I do a lot of meditation and a lot of service too in around Austin.
You are not doing meditation, you are not doing anything in your life. Meditation is the only one thing for which I think you must strive for it.
Before joining this meditation, I never used to have a sound sleep. But now I know whenever I go to the bed, immediately I'm going into this sound sleep.
If I can just put it in one line of what meditation has done to me, it has made me meet a newer and better version of myself.
I lost fears. I had people-pleasing attitude, then inferiority complex, and I gained a lot of confidence.
This meditation thing started, and I was very fortunate to join your manifestation sessions, and it gave structure to my meditation.
For me, meditation has been that thing that calmed my mind, cleansed me out of those fears of the anxiety of the future, right? And also helped me connect to my intuition.
Meditation doesn't change the world, but it has changed me, and it changed my perception.
So all my sugar levels, BP levels got reduced. It is a miracle because
When I went to my doctor a couple of weeks before with my blood routines, she got surprised because I used to take some medication for sugars. Now there is no sugar.
If at all, for me, if there is anything to do with meditation, it's about moving from that limited mindset toward that infinite mindset. It's a journey.
I would like to congratulate the Buddha CEO organization, how they have produced nicely and very and elegantly the quality of the magazine.
I've been meditating regularly. I also became 100% vegetarian.
The biggest thing I learned was like liberation. I felt anew again.
Sleeping disorder disappeared. My rheumatoid arthritis was very high. Even that was recovered.
I am very fortunate enough for not only meeting Patiji, but also be nurtured by his great love and wisdom.
He has been the ambassador of meditation. He has touched every soul. Whenever he spoke to the souls of everybody.
We did 40 days. By 40th day, I was feeling so, relaxed.
Definitely, I feel this minute of my life is really in a different place. My views changed, my confidence level changed.
One more video is there.
First time in 2017, I attended a one-day workshop. That's when I realized, okay, we can actually write down few things and we can attract those things into our reality. So I practiced for 40 days what I wrote, and I attracted the company that gives more flexible hours, good pay. And then 1.5 year after that, I'm having discussion with my HR, and he said budgets are squeezed. We cannot give any more hike because you're already on the higher bracket. Then I discussed with Chandra sir. He said, okay, fine, you look for other opportunity. And I went in and resigned, and then immediately my manager called and said, okay, let's talk, let's see what we can do. Before me, 6 other colleagues resigned and he let them go. But then he asked me, what is the offer that you are getting in the other company? I randomly said some figure, which is more than what the other company offered. He said, okay, fine, let me see. And then in 2 days, I got a call from HR saying that, okay, your manager want to do a counter offer. Do you want to stay back? So I almost fell down from my chair. It was exactly what I said to my manager. I just went out, and I don't know if you have watched this movie called Pursuit of Happiness. So that Will Smith will, in the climax, he will go out and he will just see the open sky and stuff, right? So it was the same feeling that I had at that moment. I got into my current company, SAP, so it was almost 80% hike than the previous one. I never had that much in all the 7 years prior. So
one of the places in the vision board I wrote, I should be a head or CXO or founder of a company. So after 2 weeks, I was talking to one of my neighbors, and then he said, Sridhar, why don't you start a company? I said, I don't have financial background, so let me see when it comes. He said, forget about everything, let's start. So within 2 weeks, the company formed, and then guess what? I'm the CTO of the company.
I started
meditation, and very quickly it became something much bigger and much more beautiful. Before I even realized, I started enjoying it. And then I was attending my father's manifestation workshop, and in the middle of the one of the sessions, just very randomly in my meditation, I get this thought that says, look at that website of that course once again. And I was thinking that I know the deadline is passed. In July only the deadline is over, so why did that come up? But I still opened it, and it says that they've extended the deadline by 1 month. So I have time. Within 2 days, everything, we finished it, we submitted the application. And from then on, literally everything happened so magically.
I can't believe the drastic change came in my life, and today I can experience the positivity, the confidence for facing problems in my life. And I had some manifestation, and it came true about my career. It is going smoothly, which I lost my job and I was struggling to get it. So today it is something, and it is unbelievable that it happens. I given a minimum 25 interviews. I haven't selected anywhere. And but when I started doing meditation recently, before like 1.5 months, I got my job.
I have seen the significant changes in my life while I was doing the meditation, and I successfully manifested my dream university and even secured an on campus job while I was in India. And I also got my visa approved in that 40 days period.
Okay. We can have the lights on now. How many people here? I mean, lights here. The charts will be there, so this section will be off. Seems like senior masters. Right? No, but manifestation here. Should we even have the workshop? You do manifest, right? You do manifest. You manifest. Who doesn't manifest here? Anybody? Anybody new to manifestation concepts that we should do the workshop? Yes, sir. New to the conference. Okay. One person is there, we'll do it. All right. Still you want to know more? Okay. Fine. Let's see. Maybe since you all would know can you have the slides, Naresh Garu there? Since many senior meditators are there, I was introduced to these concepts in the year 2009. Well, of course, Thoughts Create Reality was there and new from the beginning when I came into meditation from Patri sir. But as a concept to sort of look at all things that are important for manifestation came from Dr. Newton to me in the 2009 when I attended a program called Money and Spirituality, something like that. And it was about, of course, being successful manifesting. A lot of concepts from Secret book. How many of you read the book called The Secret? That sort of introduced us to the concepts of manifestation. There are youngsters. What happened to all the youngsters? They all left. I thought a few of you are there here. It would have been great for them. And so I was introduced, and then one of the things they would say is visualizing and setting goals. And everything that was there, I was following a thought. And then it would actually help me. 2009 was sort of the most lowest point in our company's history that time. 2008, when the credit squeeze happened in the United States, and then we were having our company office in Boston and India, other places, but then suddenly credit squeeze, no funding, so we had to shut down the United States operations fully. And so simply had to become like a small, tiny company in Bangalore, India, just to survive. So that was in 8, when the credit squeeze in April 2008. I know many of you are actually in the industry that time. And that's the time I was really, because I had to lay off a lot of people. As a founder, you don't really like to be doing this, but there's no option for us as a company. We tried everything possible to keep as many as possible by, talking to every employee, come down to maybe take, 50, 60, 70% salary cut so that we can retain as many people before we had to do this extreme step. And we had to do it because startups work on every last penny. They don't really keep a lot of cash in their banks. And so we are out. So it was the lowest point, and then I really want to quit IT itself at that time. But then if you have mentors, in your life you have mentors, and then mentors as, of course, masters of meditation. In this case, for me, Patri sir was the greatest mentor, not from a business perspective, but in general. So I told him, sir, I want to leave and I want to come and serve Pyramid Valley because I was a board member of Pyramid Valley. And then Patri sir, always like any mentor, Patri sir was saying, no, Chandra, you can't leave now. This is just hang in there. Things will improve. And a lot of times we think spiritual masters, what will they know? They don't know about spirituality. How will they know about your business and this and that? It's not the point. They would have a foresight into everything. And so he didn't let me resign. And you also know that you don't make decisions when you're the low. You make the decisions when you are more calmer, right? So I guess he knew that. And so then I continued. And then I had to tell you that when there are lows in our life, there will also become the best moments because from there, the only high that you can see. And so that's what happened. Towards the end of that year, what was the lowest moment? But later, when I look back, towards the end of the year, that's the time we did maximum work in this place, Pyramid Valley International. Maximum amount of construction development work happened. And I had this greatest opportunity to look through all of it. And I was there in the middle of all the development of Pyramid Valley International. We were preparing ourselves to be the international center. That year, end of the year, we were doing the first global conference of spiritual scientists. We're inviting so many international masters. So, the standards have to be as good as possible. And so maximum amount of work I could do only because my company was in a lean period. It was like really, really few people. I didn't have to even go to office, instead spend maximum time on doing service. Okay. And I look back and say, okay, that is the reason. Now it also happened that same year, as soon as that year passed, and the next year turned in 2009, I got to attend Dr. Newton's workshop about money and spirituality. That's the same year as we were completing 2008 and then I rolled into 9. Then I got the opportunity where Shreyansh Dagaji said, okay, I'll invest into your company. So many things shifted. When you hang in there, when things don't go right, and especially in manifestations or whatever, right? And so then many things shifted. And so some of the best things that happened, I became CEO of my company. I was CTO until then. And then so 3 big things, an investor coming in and I become a CEO. CEO means then you have the full control about influence, biggest influence. Manifestations, you got to be the master of your manifestation. So if you are the biggest influence, of course, it's really great. So having all of that was beautiful for me. So when I attended this program of Dr. Newton, then I understood a lot of steps. But I guess then I drew vision board, and I'll show my vision board maybe sometime tomorrow. That time what I drew. And I was doing everything. And so a company started growing. Suddenly from nothing, they started growing. 2010, 11, 12, 13, we had a great run. And we started growing, acquiring clients. And we were operating primarily in India, Middle East. And so Shreyansh is very happy as an investor. And so we would really close pals. On one side is investor, on the other side I was run the company. We were growing for 3 years. We grew. Then we was flat. We got stuck. We were not growing at all. So it was a lot of pressure on me for the next 1.5 years because in an IT company, you will spend a lot of money. You don't look for profit. Instead, look for investment so that you can grow. So we were burning a lot of cash, and so they were not growing, and so it is flat, and they were not getting adequate results. So I didn't know what to do. Then I went to Patri sir and asked in San Diego to the session, sir, again, it's been very challenging, so I don't know what to do. And he said, again, so some assurance comes from him. He said, 6 more months again this time. 6 more months, things will turn around. So that's the time he gave me a book by Dr. Joe Dispenza and said, you read this book called You Are the Placebo. How many people have read that book? Okay, so wonderful. So You Are the Placebo really, really, really changed a lot of things for me. It gave a wonderful scientific perspective on one side about how to correlate meditation, and became the solid platform for Buddha CEO to actually exist and then bring a scientific understanding and perspective on one side. And the other side, that sort of helped me to navigate, to look at and say, okay, one of the blocks that where I was getting stuck is something called limiting beliefs. The limiting beliefs that are there, and then which formed for everyone, no matter how senior, junior you are. And every day when we are going through our daily situations, and if something happens twice, then we say, this is not working. And so come to a generalized conclusion and say things don't work. Okay, no, we can try, we tried all of it. So it's what I was recognizing, that I limited myself through a lot of limiting beliefs that are formed about my company and the way we were trying to grow in the United States. So we had many, many limiting beliefs. I had 5 limiting beliefs. And mind you, by that time, I was already 13 years into meditation practice and doing many things, and still I didn't realize that I had so many limiting beliefs that I was sabotaging myself about our company growth. For example, United States, if you go to any prospect, they will ask, do you have a client here using a software? Then we'll give you another order. But we didn't have a client. So then if 3, 4, 5, 10 clients, prospects said that, okay, you don't have a client, you come back when you have a client, which is very common in our enterprise software model. So you have to have an example, a case study. Without case study, nobody wants to invest. And so you got to break this cycle. So then I started believing that maybe it's going to be very difficult because we just don't have a client. But then Dr. Joe's work, when I was reading through, then I knew how to overcome that limitation by creating something called empowering beliefs. So the moment I understood the concept and applied it, so then we started growing back again, and then there's no looking back. Shortly after about 9 months, then we were able to get acquired by IBM Corporation because I applied the same concepts, and then we had the growth, and then what was required was changing, and so then IBM was able to clearly see the benefit and value, and so we got acquired after applying these concepts. So what we're going to learn, a few things that are personally applied in my life, as the manifestation sutras, we call them 5 sutras of manifestation, with the foundation being meditation. That you can apply for anything. When those things like, my doctor was talking about, unbelievable. You think that, okay, you're looking for an admission in UK, and then one of the top colleges for publishing. You think that, okay, they close the deadline, they'll close the deadline. You're not going to open it. But then you are working with the open possibility and say, okay, so I still need that seat in it. And so then you go and then apply for it, in spite of it closed. And then there you get a call from the other side and say, okay, we'll extend the deadline, we'll give you, right? So this is called how open you can be about what you wish to have. And then believe in that process, rather than saying, okay, now deadlines are passed, I don't think they're going to open. So we conclude right there, right? So where that Naga Pradeep is talking about 80% hike, things that we fell off the chair because you just couldn't hear. But these are all things that they work in many, many ways. Even here, Ramesh, he's manifested so much of hike as a manager when he's becoming. Simply by unbelievable hike that he managed here during COVID time, by just simply holding on to the thought and process that, okay, this is what I would like to have, without even doubting about the possibility not happening, right? So the 5 sutras that we will learn, and then we will do a session now about 5 sutras, and then tomorrow we'll do one of the core aspects, which is called visualization, and to see how much of our ground we can cover, we'll cover, all right? Before I go, anybody here would like to share one of your manifestation stories? Would like to share? It doesn't matter the 5 sutras happen or not, but you just have, yes, madam.
I have been meditating from 18 years. I started manifesting from past 10 years. So one of the thing I got manifested is the construction of custom homes. We thought that we have a small group, like 6-7 families. We thought we all take together, and it was not possible because everybody wants their own, they have their own choices. But We meditated and we manifested, and in Minneapolis, we are the first group who has bought, all the 6 families bought the in same place together, like we constructed the homes. And everybody knew that. Yeah, people talk that you guys are the ones who first constructed those houses, so custom homes. So we manifested it. We got a lot of challenges in that, but still we overcome that. They gave back the checks and everything, and they gave, my friends gave up that, okay, it's not possible, but me and Jyoti didn't give up. So we make it possible.
Yeah, please come.
I want to share one of the experience about my H-1B visa. So I came as a, you were saying something? Oh, okay. So I came as a L2 dependent. My husband got a L1 visa, and I want to convert that into H1. We put a lottery. So me and my cousin put the lottery, and she put it from multiple consultancies, but I put only one. So I had a vision, a very static vision, that as soon as I enter, like whenever I entered to my new home, because that was in construction phase, when I was entering into my new home, I already have a H-1B visa. So they took a lottery, and my cousin got picked and I didn't. So it happens once in a year, so we need to try again in the next year. But what I thought, I was very strong. I told my husband, I will have H-1B visa. It's already there. It's coming to me. He was like, be practical. It's just once in a year. So after a couple of months, they again raised one more. I got a call saying that they took one more lottery. Government has identified there are lack of, like, very few people that year because of COVID. So I was so curious to know if I got picked up. And again, mine was not picked up. So I felt a little bit uncomfortable, and then I decided, like, okay, whoever I prayed for the people, whoever is struggling hard, for me, I have my husband, but whoever is struggling hard, for them, please, universe, help, and let them get picked. So I started praying. I stopped for me. I started praying for them. And it was a time where we need to move. And it was like almost 2 weeks for our Gruha Pravesham. So all of a sudden, I got a call in the afternoon. When I picked the call, he said that it was like government decided to take one more round of lottery. This time you got picked. So I went into the home. By the time I am in my new home, I already have the visa.
Thank you, madam. So what did she do here? Many senior masters who understand it, when you start the manifestation process, that means when you start with intentions, you are assisted by messages. The message that make you believe that it is happening for you. Otherwise, where doubt creeps in, okay, that's first thing is over, so how is it possible, right? But the messages help you to stay on course. This is how magically when the messages come, then you know that this is happening. The future event is shown to you, and so then you believe in it without necessarily doubting things, right? And Vani had a great story of how my son had to finish an essay of 3,000, say 4,000 words. And these are very, very difficult essays. They're creative. You got to write a lot. It takes time. And he had just a day, and then he was thinking of postponing getting extension, but then the professor did not give, so he had no option. But then, so generally students give up. But then she had the message that no, he is going to complete, because in a meditation she's clearly seen is completing it. And so then you know that you got to just sit through and then figure out a way to support, rather than doubting and saying, he's saying this, he's saying that, is not going to happen, right? So a lot of things that happened for me in my company acquisition, similar things that made you believe that you can walk the path. It was taking a long time, like 14, finally it's about 14 months from the time I started a manifestation process to get my company acquired. By the time it got acquired, it's a 14-month process, right? But it's something big that I was manifesting towards, having this acquired for many, many reasons. And so let's look at a few concepts before we go into this. maybe it is jump start. Okay, so ever grateful to Patriji because I think his unwavering teaching about the thing that your thoughts fundamentally shape your reality was deeply, deeply ingrained. Manifestation program is fundamentally founded in this concept of meditation and of course the thought process. There are two aspects. The thought process sort of places your intentions and attention, which is called your mind power. And we'll watch a video of Patriji later. And then meditation is about drawing your soul power. So your thought process is your mind power, and then meditation is your soul power. How much is the mind power? Is there a limit to how much mind power you have? Mind power is unlimited. Soul power, of course, is unlimited. Mind power is also unlimited because any number of thought, any amount of energy you can give. And our brain is the biggest computer, right? Biggest computer, unbelievable amount of capacity it has. And so there are many, many ways. And so your thought, your visualization, intentions are your mind power. And then so Patriji was big on meditation, acts your soul power, big on thought, and then acting on mind power, right? That summarizes how you can live a great, great life when you actually combine these two beautifully and then master these two, right? And so forever grateful I need somebody there. Yeah, can you give me the next slide, please? Not working. Next slide. And then we have our mentors. Karthikeyan sir, by the way, is coming to US after a long time for the St. Louis RCM. He's a great spiritual ambassador. So much of energy. And then Patri madam sort of says that, okay, he is there after Patri sir vacates body. Karthikeyan sir really, really championing the cause for PSSM and every platform, everywhere. And then he's giving that support and in taking PSSM meditation. He was singly responsible for getting so many dignitaries in our second GCML, including Vice President of India. And so he is actually coming for St. Louis RCML to engage, and then is also visiting Dallas Mega Pyramid because keenly interested to see that Patriji's dream of mega pyramids in US start. And so then he's particularly taking time to come there. All of you are welcome to join the St. Louis RCML to engage and interact with him for quite a few days. He's going to be there. And then of course our Pyramid Valley International, which is where all my journey of meditation started, and ever grateful. And this is a beautiful, beautiful project. If you have not visited, must visit. Who has not visited here, Pyramid Valley? And so, there's a Makkah of meditation right now. So whenever you're going to India, then replace Tirupati with Pyramid Valley, or replace something else with Pyramid Valley. Right? We move up. We move up. In religion, we worship our God. And then in spirituality, you say all gods are equal. In spiritual sense, you are the God. In meditation, it experiences that God. And so that's why you have to go there, right? And it's an amazing place. And then just by having a pyramid, even there is a structure, but today, close to 300,000 people annually visit and benefit from this pyramid. And then if it didn't construct one, nothing would have happened. It's not that we had money then. In fact, this is one of the biggest manifestation stories that I always talk about. With no money, we started. Just though many of you are starting here. And then because we started, because it got completed automatically, when a baby is born, it's so the baby is going to grow. Nothing that you and I can do. I mean, it's going to grow. Somewhere or the other, it will grow. We put your attention a little bit. And so that's what has happened. And so today, more than 4 million people learn meditation. Now, if we thought that time, okay, if there is money, then we will start. Normally, how does manifestation work? When people want to do something, you'll say, okay, I need a lot of money before I can start. Okay, you want to do a vacation, where do we start? Where is the money? Okay, it's difficult, and so where is the time? Where is the money? So we stop there, and we start with money and then time. But then manifestation is saying, you visualize where you want to go. You think about it, you intend, it's called intention. So start with your intention and say, yes, I'm doing it. And so then automatically everything will start acquiring, everything start coming into your life. That's the manifestation process the other way. When I have a lot of money, I'll donate, will change to, yes, I'm donating, and then you're looking for the opportunity and then things start coming and you wait for you to donate. But the moment you say, when I have money, I will donate. When my salary increment comes, I'll do this. Then it's going to be a forever future. It will always be in a futuristic state of salary coming for you to donate, which will happen year after year after year after year. We got to reverse it. So Pyramid Valley started that way because Patrizi right in the beginning told, Chandra, my projects don't start with money. My projects start with intention. Because I was asking him on a dais that time in June 2003 with a small brochure. I said, sir, where is the money? Because it would cost him $4 million. We have less than $100 in the bank. $100. We didn't have more than that. Then he looked at me and said, okay, I was just in the beginning of this whole meditation journey. Just about it. I just finished a few weeks of meditations. And I'm happy about it. Signed up to do the service. So that's when he said, all my projects start with intentions, not with resources like money. And then people and then money will come automatically. And so then, okay, I believed sir, because he is a master of meditation then. And so rightfully so, within 1.5 years, we were able to build the structure of the pyramid with nothing in the bank, the structure of the pyramid, spending closely about $750,000 in getting that there. And thereafter, one thing led. And the pyramid project is complete. And so then 4 million people benefited. Now, if you're waiting for the cash to come, probably 20 years later, no pyramid is still there, right? But things are that way, dear friends. And so I'm very glad that our team in Dallas and also Atlanta and many other places, they're all dreaming in Raleigh about pyramids. They got to come. They will come. If you have a constant seed in intention, if all things start with intention, if you keep your intention, if you're at it with intention, without giving up your intention, things will come. Same with people who not got into meditation. If you keep your intention that, yes, I've got to do a 6-hour meditation, someday it will happen because it's coming naturally. So Pyramid Valley is that way. A great story of how this is serving many, many people. Can I have the next slide? So we've done a lot of my introduction. So let me talk about placebo effect. How many of you know about placebo? What is placebo? Yes, madam. Okay, so you're not actually taking something, but you still get the result. Indian moms and most moms are great placebo givers, right? When a child is crying in the night, what do? You can't take them to a doctor. You give them some Jeera water or something and say, okay, now this is going to solve everything for you. Take it and then it is done, isn't it? How many of you tried this already? All the time you're trying it, right? So the placebo effect is basically saying what then? What you believe is what happens without a doubt. That's the key. What you believe is what happens and what we attract without a doubt. Is the child doubting you when you're giving something? They don't doubt. And more so when you're in a challenge and you really, really want to take that and then believe in it, right? And so the placebo is a very, very beautiful concept that is used in the pharmaceutical industry. It's just unfortunate that the medical industry does not take it. Instead, rampantly go on giving a lot of medication, instead giving them a placebo concept so that they can, by the way, any medical doctors here? All right. I have nothing against medical doctors. It's just that we have so many concepts. And of course, these days, so many medical doctors are writing meditation as a prescription because they know that it is helping change the way you think about your health. So a research on asthma patients. So asthma patients, this is in a medical clinic, and then many of these were done regularly. And it's done in the United States somewhere here. And in a medical clinic, so they are administering asthma patients with a research, and they said, we are doing some research, and here is an inhaler with allergen that we are giving. Allergen will flare the asthma up. And so they said, we're giving an inhaler with allergen, and so it's going to increase your asthma. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it in case it increases. So they give them an inhaler, telling them allergen is given, but actually they put water vapor in it. And so then they suddenly saw the asthma spiking up for people, even though all they're inhaling is water vapor. What should it do? Water vapor will usually relieve the asthma. But they've been told that you are given allergen, so it is going to inhale. It is going to increase. So they simply believed, because in a medical clinic, so you don't doubt a medical clinic when somebody is playing with you. And so then their asthma increased. Okay. So, of course, this is fascinating and then surprising. So, how much is asthma increase? 48% experience symptoms. Means nearly 1 in 2, just by believing, even though they're not really taking anything harmful, but still their asthma increased because they believed that the nurses, what they're telling, they believe that this is true, they're going to take this medication, and so it's going to increase just by that. And then to the point where 1 in 3 people, 1 in 3, seriously increased that they had to administer medicine for them so that their asthma will come under control. Okay. Now they did the reverse. The reverse also true. Now their asthma is high. They said, now I'm giving you real water vapor, it's going to relieve your asthma. You're with me on this. So they already have an asthma condition. They said, okay, now I got to bring it down, so I'll give you an inhaler with some lemon water and all that, so it's going to give you relief. But this time, guess what they did? They're telling them that I'll give you a relief medication like a lemon water with a vapor, but this time they put real allergen in it, which will flare the asthma up. All right? So while already they have an asthma high, and then they put allergen in it, telling them that this is going to relieve you, and so then rightfully it's what it did. Instead of increasing their asthma, their asthma came down, even though they're taking the real medication that would flare the asthma up. So exactly the reverse has happened, isn't it? Opposite happened. So the belief is what is causing the healing to happen. Placebo healing, there are studies to say what percentage of healing that we all are having is placebo healing. Some studies say nearly 100% is placebo healing. Some say 80% is placebo healing. That means you're really, really believing in a doctor, in a medication, in your situation, and so then things are healing as opposed to the chemical actually that is doing the job. Are you with me on this? The research studies are showing that it can be the placebo healing is the because it's very difficult to put a perspective on this. But then the point, dear friends, is that if you, without a doubt, believe things would happen. Like Madam just said, okay, it's going to happen. Husband is saying, be realistic, practical. When using the words practical and realistic, anyone, that means you do not believe the science of manifestation. If you are using the word practical and then realistic, that means you are simply saying, yeah, all that is there, thoughts create reality, but not now. Because not ready to listen, not ready to accept it, not ready to hold on to the current situation, right? And so they were not doubting, and so then these things happening in placebo. Now this is where the mind plays a lot of game, right? Mind is sort of limiting itself in many, many ways. Good way and not good way. And so here is a story on barracuda fish of what limits us or what makes us so open. A meditation experience makes us believe so strongly that it is bound to happen. So you believe so strongly and things happen. The other way also called limiting belief is to limit too, of how we limit ourselves very quickly in one way or the other. So barracuda fish preys on smaller fish. It eats the fish. How many people know about this story, by the way? Anyone know the story here? Was that? Okay, good. Then there is some value. Otherwise, you all are already masters of manifestation. Okay. So the barracuda fish is preys on small, tiny fish. It eats them. And so they're doing an experiment and have taken a hall of this size. It's a glass container. They put the barracuda fish on one side and then small these prey fish on the other side. And so then the barracuda fish, the big one, can see and it'll go and then eat them. They'll put again fish, then it'll go and eat. Again, it'll go and eat. So then what they've done, little while later, they put a toughened glass in the center. It's a see-through toughened glass. They put a toughened glass in the center, completely barricaded it. Now the barracuda fish on this side, and they put a prey fish on the other side. So the barracuda fish is trying to do what? And you can see through, and you can see there is a fish is there. It is going, and then it goes, come to the center, hits, cannot break it. Tongue sound comes, so then it turns around and goes back. And then immediately it turns around, it sees the fish again, it comes, and then again hits tongue, and then turns back. And it's doing 3-4 times, and then so it's not able to break through it. Then it sort of gives up, goes away, After 5-10 minutes later, it forgets, look at it, oh, okay, there is a fish there. It'll try again, tongues, it goes back. Then now half an hour later it tries. Now 1 hour later it tries once more. It's not happening. So then it gives up to try at all, right? And so then they looked at that and they removed the glass partition. Now they remove the glass partition. So then guess what should happen? What's that? The barracuda fish stopped trying. So even though now it sees the fish on the other side, it can go through because no ceiling, but then it stops, it doesn't try. It says, okay, I can't go there. And so it forms a permanent limitation in its mind and stops trying. There's a limitation based on a repeated occurrence that, okay, things don't happen for me, which is based on repetition. Okay. So repetition is one way we are forming many, many limitations in our life. In sudden, unexpected, heightened emotional experience is another way we form a good belief. A meditation experience is of that nature, because meditation experience you value a lot. And so when you get a meditation experience, say, yes, I know, it comes from the field, and so it's got to be right. And so we have a strong power that is written into our subconscious that, okay, this is going to be true. If you have a sudden road accident, and then road accident a friend had and now we had, and then so that's it. That day, people make a decision and say, driving by roads are unsafe, and then many of them don't go at all, and then they only go by flights thereafter or buses. They not take the, whatever. Flights are trained but don't take road accident, because a lot of people made the decisions. I have a friend who made the decision. He said, I'm never going to drive by roads, because they had a road accident where they nearly had a death or whatever. So any sudden emotional things will also make us form a strong belief that we're not going to break, or repetition, right, is how we limit ourselves. The point here is that if what you believe is what you create, and so then we believe to create what we want, and we limit ourselves in believing to limit in creation. Are you with me on this? Please tell the person next to you, so far what you've learned. Talk to the person next to you. So far, from the time we started, just share, and then other person also shares back in case you missed a point. Please do that. You're allowed to share loudly, all right? But do share. Whatever. Please find a partner, because we're spending a lot of hours, and I want to make sure your time is very well spent. Just by recollecting and sharing, your ability to remember the concepts will increase by 50% using a neuroscience principle. Okay. So this experiment, which is called Renapo's experiment on chicks, is quite fascinating, and it sort of really gives the notion about the power of our feelings. Power of our feelings. There is thought, there is feeling. The people in those who are the asthma patients, they are thinking, they're believing there, But here we're talking about the power of feelings. Now, here is a small experiment that Rene Poe did. Little technical, just stay with me on this, right? So there is a random number generator. They take this as a table. A table is there. It's like a canvas. A table is a canvas for plotting. Okay, like the earthquake seismic graph. It plots on a canvas, randomly. So think of a table as a canvas where a needle, a magnetic needle, is placed in the center like this. The magnetic needle is plotting to the left side or right side, depending on a number input it retrieves from a random number generator. A random generator connected, and then that is every time you ring the random generator, it will produce a number. Now the generator is calibrated to ring between 1 to 100, numbers 1 to 100. If a number below 50 comes, the needle will go to the left side of the table. Number above 50 comes, needle will go to the right side of the table and plot there. Okay, so a random number generator is connected. Think of it as your housey game. Housey game, everybody played here? How many numbers are there? 100. And so then people are taking it out randomly, and then you get a number. If it is less than 50, the needle is going to the left side and plotting somewhere. If it is greater than 50, it's plotting on the right side. That's all it is, pretty simple. Now what happens in a housey game? Let's say you play for an hour. Will numbers generally balance out? You get all numbers or only one side numbers you get? Generally all numbers you get. If you only play for 5 minutes, it tends to be that, okay, somebody's slip is coming full suddenly. But over a period of time, they are random numbers, right? It's even out. That's the theory of randomness. Over a period of time, they generally even out. So here, they played for an hour. What do you think is here? Is left and right equal? Is left about 60%, right about 40? You could say it's about 60 and 40 because a lot of density is here. So it's about 60 and 40. Now, this is not exactly equal, somewhat equal. It's not like 20-80. Is it 20-80? 30-70? Definitely not that also, right? You would fall more at 40-60. Somewhat equal. It's not that really that low and then imbalanced, isn't it? Now, what they've done is they've taken small newborn chicks, 15 of them, and then put them in a cage on the right side here. They took a cage and put the 15 newborn chicks in the cage, and then did this experiment again. What is the experiment? Random number generator generating random numbers 1 to 100, which is still going on the way it was doing before, and the needle is still plotting. As the number 40 comes, it will go to the left side. Number 80 comes, it will go to the right side. Number 1, left side. Number 90, right side. It is still doing the same as before. The only difference is that they put 15 chicks in a cage to the right side of this canvas table. And this is what happened exactly after an hour of experimentation. Where is the needle here? Where is it plotting? Is plotting up to the right side. A lot on the right side, and a lot more closely dense near the cage. How much of it is there on the left side? Hardly. It's the same situation. Your housey guy is still calling the numbers 1 to 100 because they are simply calling numbers, right? The needle, which is like a magnetic needle tied to a robot, it's a robotic needle, so it must simply go to the left or right depending on the numbers, because numbers are still coming 1 to 100. But the needle decided to stay to the right only, even though numbers 1 to 50 were still coming like a random number generator, but then the needle is simply plotting and staying only on the right side, more close to the chicks. Can anybody guess what's happening here? This defied so much logic for people. You didn't know what's going on here because you thought 1 to 50 means it's got to go to the left, but then the needle is completely being drawn away to the right side. Chicks are thinking that it will come on to them, then they'll repel it. All right, because they'll feel unsafe. But you're thinking right. You're getting there somewhere. You're trying it to the thought process. All right? Anybody else? Not that, of course, difficult to guess. For newborn chicks, anything that moves, they can't see, and so anything that moves is their mother. Anything that moves is their mother. Now, what is moving here? The needle is moving. So then they thought needle is their mother because that's the only thing is moving. You see, that's why initial few points, there is some to the left is there. A few to the left are there. So the newborn chicks, then the needle start moving to the left, right, left, right. As it start moving, they immediately recognize, oh, that's our mother. Because they can't see. And so the only thing is the movement. And so then that's my mother. Now what is a newborn baby? Where do they want to spend? Their aunties and others or their mother? Now they're in a cage. So can they go there? They can't go to the outside. They can't break the cage and go because it's too ironish and they're too tight. So then, now they are thinking, what is their intention? Their intention is what? Their thought is what? Where is the feeling? Oh, that's my mother. I want to be there. I want to be there. This is how you feel. They're placing a lot of the strong intention that I want to be next to my mother, close to my mother. So guess what? Then with their intention, their energy, the feeling, pull the needle towards them. Even though a robotic needle need to go onto the left side, but then their intention, and there are 15 chicks, they are very, very strong, no? Newborn chicks? Are they very strong? Newborn chicks, are they strong? Super strong, right? Like you know, Tarzan power. What do you think? How many people touch a newborn chick? It is tender, so fragile. You just do like this, you can even break itself. But yet they had the power to pull a magnetic needle towards that side. All right, so what's the power there? It's called the energy, the power. Our feelings have tremendous amount of power to attract things into our life. Okay. Thoughts are one thing, but the feelings are a German university recorded. When you have feelings matched with a thought, then you are producing up to 5,000 times more energy. Your feelings have to be married to your thought. So when you're looking for something, it's not just about intellectually saying, yes, I'm landing my admission into that Harvard or whatever. You got to have a real feeling of why you want an admission in Harvard, why not somewhere else. You got to have so much clarity. You got to have so much of that future experience which can drive up a feeling into you. Then you are essentially bringing that thing into you because like you're producing a lot of energy, and so that can really, really move the needles, right? So the point here, dear friends, is that if newborn chicks can do it with hardly no brain, you know, there's a strong conviction, can humans do whatever they want? Should do. Because humans have this conscious mind which has got the ability to create. They don't have a conscious mind. Only humans have it. We have the conscious mind. The whole big part of our brain called conscious mind is only humans have. You know, does the newborn, any chicken's head is big? Pretty flat. They're flat because they don't have conscious mind the way we have. For our size, proportion of the body, our brain is quite big because we got all this big, it's called the neocortex. The big part of a brain is called the conscious mind. Humans are given to create. That's why you're called co-creators, right? And we utilize the power of our brain significantly to create things constantly. And so, dear friends, now do you think the chicks were doubting if it is their mother or not? Do you think they will doubt? But we doubt all the time. Will it happen? Will it happen? This is going to be, oh, no, stock market is low, so how is it possible? So all the time we doubt, but chicks won't doubt. The point here, the difference is that when you don't doubt outcomes, this is the key for manifestation, is that there is no fear, there is no doubt about it. When you remove the doubt and fear, then your manifestations will happen. You got to be so focused without a doubt at all. We're really, really important. Okay. Yeah, please go ahead. It is manifestation. There's a couple of principles that will come to. It's called, one is surrendering, requesting, being open to the possibility that yes, there is a possibility of traffic being clear. You don't know so much science, but you're simply looking for it because you know that that's a possibility. The traffic suddenly can ease up is a possibility. While in general we think that, okay, it's going to be a Saturday evening, it's going to be so bad, and that's how we think. So being open to the possibility, recognizing that yes, it's possible, number one, and then number two, placing your attention, asking, and then leaving it at, without saying, oh, will it happen, will it happen? You're not even thinking, because then it's called surrender. Surrender is where you do your best, and then beyond that you leave, and then let the nature, in this case is the word nature, is to now work things out for you, right? All right. So that's what part of the principle that we learn. So dear friends, so the whole idea is that our thoughts and feelings constitute our state of being. Your thoughts and feelings is called a state of being. A personality, right? Or your nature, right? Your nature. Now that needs to change. Now as your thinking and feeling is what you produce your outwardly things. For example, traffic. And what belief do you have about traffic in your area? What belief do you have about, these tornadoes coming and ripping and not ripping? What do you have? Beliefs that you have about your personal finances, your skills, your relationships. What do you think about you when you wake up, the way the life is right now? Are you already thinking that, okay, this is going to be very tough because so much of stirring is happening? Are you forming a belief based on the current environment here, political environment? Everything can be pretty quickly a belief that we will form depending on what others tell, and that becomes your personality that starts guiding you in many, many ways, right? So the notion here is that we got to change the state of being to change our future, because everything is produced based on how we think and feel about ourselves, right? The chicks were not doubting. They said simply, that's my mother, I got to go there, that's all. The asthma patients are not doubting the nurses when they're giving them the inhalers. They're simply following and say, yes, that is true. They gave me allergen, it's going to shoot up, even though there's no allergen, because they simply believed. And so our personality has to change to create a new reality. Our belief system has to change. That's fundamental. In the morning I showed and said 90% of our life events are driven through our personality. So 90% of life events. So guess what then? If you have a limiting personality about everything that about life, then you will create a 90% of life limitation. 10% is changing a little bit. That's why you call it simple, very, very incremental life changes happening. For a meditator, when they start removing the beliefs, then suddenly a shift is happening. Many things start happening to you, and then you realize and say, okay, my God, these are the words used. I never thought that I will do this. I never expected this is going to happen to me. When you're using these words, that means you're really, really going through a beautiful, fast-paced life, right? Fast-paced life meaning not fast-paced life, but things are happening to you at a real fast pace that you never expected. So placebo confirmed that your thoughts and feelings create reality. Now, some of the successful people, so the whole point, dear friends, is that the whole manifestation is fundamentally based on just thought and feeling. And we're trying to understand this in many ways so that it drives home that point for us. You've got to really stick to that and say, no matter what, you stay, no matter what, when the situation shows up that, no, my lottery is finished, but you still are thinking, I will still get my H1. How? Lottery is over. How can I still get H1? The second lottery came. You're still believing. How third lottery came. So that means the possibilities are there. You never believe so. You were looking for promotion. Promotion is already given to somebody. What do we think? Oh, it's over. So let me give up and say, think about next year. Can that person who got the promotion leave your company and so you can get it? You can get it in the next week. You might have already applied. You got a better place and he leaves. Then you will get a promotion. All right. So we stay open even though situations are already appear like they concluded. All right. And so Mahatma Gandhi ji is big on this. A man is but a product of his thoughts. What he thinks he becomes. Now we're talking to a few successful people in their life and how they carried their life through. One way to think and then adopt. Another way is placebo. Research is there, practical research that is there. And so he's the greatest manifester, isn't it? What do you think? He's the greatest manifester? What did he manifest? Freedom through non-violence, madam. Freedom through non-violence. Who on the earth could ever even think that, okay, through non-violence I will get freedom? And but how many years did he work, by the way? How many years did he work for getting it? Can anybody guess? History you need to know a little bit. 1905 we started. 1905 we started the movement to do. How many years is that? 42 years. So then you start manifestation, 3 months later it's not working, give up, then what the hell is that then? He worked at 42 years because he believed that it's bound to happen. He never questioned, he never doubted. In my case, when we started the company in 2003, 2016 we got acquired, 13 years later. Normal companies, startup companies, 0 to 7. In 7 years, generally they get acquired and then they move to the next phase. 7 years are over 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. And I should give up and many, many times. I like that too. I was on the verge of giving up many times. But then of course, a mentor saved, messages saved. From Vani, for example, is a great psychic. She gets so much of messages. So many, many messages that she is able to get and say, you're going to be the CEO. Things are going to happen. So many things. So that the guidance was there. All right? And so then the messages are there. And then the mentor is there, and so I was able to hold on to it. Perseverance matters. Mahatma Gandhi went to jail 18 times, and every time you go to jail, what will the family tell? People tell you, why are you get such hassle? What is the point? Just give up, and so just do. But then really leave it. So dear friends, manifestation will happen when you persevere no matter what. That means you got to have so much faith, understanding of the science behind this principle that what I'm wishing is coming true, and then time is not mine. Time is not ours. How do you know what is the right time for you to get that independence? Can you tell 10 years before that if it comes that is better? We don't know. How can you tell what is better? A lot of times children want admission. You don't get it next year. Then you say, okay, I'll go to this university, that university. They immediately change the universities because you're not really sticking about a specific university that you want because you don't have clarity and say number 1 university matters or 2, 3, 4, 5. You just simply pick and go. Right. Because we also cannot wait. We say, no, so it has to be this 1 year, it gets wasted, so simply put him somewhere else. But do you know that if we wait for 1 more year, that year, a new professor is coming who matches the frequency of your child, so it's the best environment. Maybe it's a bunch of students are coming. The best for them at that year. Maybe he's got 1 year of extra maturity in his brain, and so then it's better for them. Do you know? How can you tell? Because we simply have our own notion that time is like, sequential, it's got to happen, and so we just don't wait. Same thing with promotion. 5 years are over, I got to get my promotion. Who knows, 7 years later, if you can become very successful suddenly. I feel that way when a company got acquired after so many years, because I feel that the environment in IBM was right, because my intention was to introduce a lot of meditation there. And so then within 2 years, we grew the mindfulness community from 2,000 people to 20,000 people in IBM in 2 years, when I feel it was the right environment. And the right environment for my manager, Lawrence, to also get into meditation in no time, just like that. Just introduced meditation, she became one of the greatest masters. And so with her help, we were able to grow so much, right? So the timing is not in ours. Only if you can sustain that in manifestation, things will happen. Absolutely, it's happening for people if you're ready for it even in the next lifetime. How is that then? Right? This have to continue the process. Mahatma Gandhi is an example. So Einstein talked about imagination is more powerful than many things, right? Then I'm going to go fast. Henry Ford, this is a beautiful statement. If you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you're right. What is he saying? Whatever you think, you're right. If you think, yes, I can do it, you're right. If you think, no, I can't do it, you're still right. Because you're the one who's creating. So those who are saying, I don't have time, this is not there, you don't change, and think about it, because it's up to you. Up to you what to say. And people tell me, and especially many people in service industry, doctors, a lot of times my schedule is not my hand. You're simply arguing for your limitation because you're not even reflected upon this and say that word is made, you are making it and giving it to somebody else. You can take it back into your hand and then wait to see what happens. Anybody here were able to change things for you just by thinking that way? Where you thought that it is just impossible, and there's a school bus is coming at that time, my husband is leaving to the office that time, and so then I can't do much. But it's just simply by reflecting on it and changing your thought process of exactly what you want, you will still serve your husband, your child, but you still get what you want, because things will fizzle out and then they rearrange themselves beautifully. So that's what Henry Ford is saying with his beautiful experience. He's one of the all-time inventors, right? He's done so much of auto industry, it all came through him, right? Very successful person, but that's the kind of idea he had in living his life. So it's all about you. What you decide to do is what matters, not what somebody else is deciding. That's all he's saying. Very powerful is how he guided his life, right? And so then Walt Disney, you know, this is one of the famous failures. He was never hired for a creative job, saying that you're not creative, but then he became one of the greatest inventors. What is he saying? If you can dream it, you can do it. He's saying dream, then it will come. Don't worry about your physical limitation. Don't worry about your environmental limitation. They all are just simply limitations that you think, like that barracuda fish, you say can't do it anymore, decide, right? So that's what he's saying. And he's guided his life through this. That's all. He kept dreaming, and became all-time. How many people have gone to Disneyland? Everybody? Isn't it beautiful? Can you imagine that a person can even think of creating something like that? This incredible creativity, isn't it? And somebody who got rejected for the very job of animation in the beginning, right? He was rejected, like Amitabh Bachchan for rejected of The Voice, but he became the almost great. So dear friends, and so then Adi Shankaracharya says the same. Whenever a person's mind dwells on intensely with firm resolve, that is exactly what he becomes. That is Adi Shankaracharya. Intensely with firm resolution that yes, this is happening to me. You got to have so much of strong intention. Esther Hicks, the law of attraction lady, a spiritual master. Anybody interested in manifesting sitting here today, you must read her books, by the way. Okay? Please read her books. In an amazing, amazing way, she puts a lot of things in simplified philosophical language, not much science, but her books are out of flow. Law of Attraction is one of her books, and many, many books are there. Esther Hicks and Jerry Hicks, right? And then she is saying, but the law of attraction says that anything you give your attention to will become your truth. And your life and everyone else too is but a reflection of the predominance of your thought. Whatever is the predominant thought you have in your life, that's what you're really, really manifesting, all right? So that's why if you got 5 things in your life as goals, make sure the predominant thought is the most important one for you. Don't make it like third one and a fourth one. The most important one in your manifestation should be the one that predominantly there in your thinking process, right? Many people put a laundry list of 10 things and say, I want this and I want that. And then in the process, your priority, the most important one somewhere, the 9th is there. The first one is something else. Move it up. Whatever is predominantly there, as that's what is usually manifesting for you, so might as well that be the most important, right? You are with me on this, okay? And then, of course, Dr. Joe Dispenza, how many people here have studied him a little bit? Okay, so I say the most powerful master right now who is just really gel science with spirituality. Amazing, amazing work he's doing, and it's really worthwhile to listen to his videos and then read his books. His books are just amazing. His books are amazing, and then you'll get so much power to think about the power of your own thought, right? When you read his books, the way he explains it, the case studies that are there, and it's really worthwhile to sort of talk and then listen to him, okay? It really shifts your thinking about this whole concept of thoughts and then neuroscience and quantum physics, and many things come together very beautifully, right? So he's written 4 or 5 books, and all books are worthwhile to read, all of them. If I were you, just buy the books and all of them and then read. So dear friends, quantum physics also is saying the same thing. Quantum physics, while without going to too much detail, but essentially saying that whatever is there is all energy. Emptiness is energy and is full of possibilities. We have a master class in our 40-day program talking about this in detail for about 45 minutes to 1 hour, explaining how the field that exists out there has got infinite possibilities and how we are that possibility. And then observation, energy becomes matter through observation. So first it's all energy. That energy is becoming matter. So your experience is matter. Any physical experience you want to have, like you attending the workshop, is a matter. You're physically experiencing something. It happens because in your mind, you put enough attention about it and said, okay, I would like to go to this DMC. That's what Jyoti Madam thought about. And she must have thought about enough times. And then she put enough attention to it, and so then it becomes real at some point, right? So energy becomes matter through one's observation. Okay, that's what quantum physics is saying. Sort of saying the same thing as thoughts create reality, the placebo effect, as what Henry Ford and Mahatma Gandhi believed in, right? And of course, as what spiritual science is saying, yad bhavam tad bhavati. That is a principle. That is spiritual science is saying that. So dear friends, the point is that whether it's quantum physics, whether it's placebo research, whether it's successful people, whether it's spiritual science, they all said the same, that your thoughts and feelings create your reality. Right, friends? So that's what I'd like to conclude. And then this session we went through in the morning, conscious, subconscious mind. Eventually, in order to, if thoughts have so much power, and then a mind has got these two aspects that are there, which is one side, it is limitations, another side, many, many negative thought, right? So there is restless mind and then limiting mind. Many, many limitations are there. And then this is mapping your brain into a conscious mind of restlessness, many, many negative thoughts, a subconscious mind of limitations, full of limitations. And so if thoughts and feelings have power, the feelings come from subconscious and thoughts come from here. Now these two have to be really fixed. Scientifically speaking, your brain has to be fixed. Your conscious mind has to be fixed. Subconscious has to be fixed. One is thought, negative thought. Another is feeling or limited feeling about things. Feeling guilty, feeling lack, and feeling loneliness, separation. Many of those things are all come from subconscious, and so that has to be fixed. And so the solution is then meditation and wisdom. Wisdom like what we are going through, right? When you read through the chick's experiment, it must give us enough empowerment and say, yes, I got to believe. When we heard her experience and say, yes, my meditation will tell me enough clues so that I can hold on to my future very strongly, right? And so meditation and wisdom combined are helping us to really, really shift our mindset. When you shift your mindset, your future changes. Yes. Yeah. Belief system is formed, as I said, like the barracuda fish. It appeared 3 times, then it formed a belief. In my case, 10 out of 20, 10 clients have said, no, you don't have a client in the United States, it's not going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. So I believed in it. And so business, now every time I went to the 11th client, 12th client, I was thinking before even they say, oh, this person also will say the same thing. I don't have a client, so today he's going to say the same. So I'm creating that negative reality for myself now because I believed in it automatically. Now you become the blocker of your own future because it happened a few times for you. You're telling your husband and say, okay, you come to meditation. He's saying, no, it's not for me. Now you yourself will tell your friends, no, meditation, you won't take it here. Who is creator? A lot of times we are proud about it. We are proud about it and you're telling it. So then, of course, then he's not coming into meditation. So are the children not coming into meditation? No, he's not that type. We won't take it. All right, because we want to put them in a great light. And so we also talk about them positively in many cases. Great, then you're giving a nice feeling to it. And so that's what it is. So the cause of anything happening is us squarely a lot of times, dear friends, after the beliefs are formed. Initially, of course, we all try. And then very soon we give up. And so that's why it's very important for senior meditators too, because the beliefs are formed based on environment. And they constantly form every day, every moment we have to check. And that has to be a constant scrubbing we got to do into ourselves. So the point here is that your conscious, subconscious mind is like an iceberg. And so there is all of these theories. I want to skip this right now. So we go off. So meditation then is giving us a lot of changes in our life in many, many areas, all the circles explored. So briefly, the meditation is observing your breath. So let's do a meditation, and then I'll introduce you to the 5 sutras today. And then tomorrow, one of the important aspects is the visualization, which we'll talk through. And tomorrow, and then cover and draw a vision board, and then set up on a path for our own visualization of future. Okay? But let's do a meditation now, and post that about 15-20 minutes to introduce the 5 sutras. Relax yourself, dear friends. So practice is simple. If anybody new, and we are observing our natural, normal breath with our eyes closed. Because meditation is clearing the mind. Meditation is helping us to access the subconscious programs. If 90% of our life is based on the limitation that we have, how people are not that great, how my company is not giving me hikes, how my bosses are not considerate to me, how this environment is difficult. There all are limitations which are holding us back from living our full potential. The meditation is helping us to access that subconscious, building awareness so that we can change. We can look at and say, what limitation do I carry about my potential, my concentration, my subject? Oh, I say I'm not good at math. Okay, so what is coming from there? Because maybe 2 times I fail, 2 times I do well, it was difficult for me. Then meditation help you to look at and say, oh, this is only my own limitation. So remove it just by being aware, just by looking at some examples, like my daughter who was like, always used to say, but then after I started getting into meditation, she became one of the 98% for her, and mathematics is unthinkable when she got to about 12th grade. But things started happening when she stopped believing that she's not good at math. That's all it is. So it's important that we remove these limitations. Meditation is helping us to access the subconscious program. So that's why we are doing, of the many, many benefits, this is one of the reasons and how it's helping. All right, friends? So relax yourself. With your eyes closed. Relax your body. Scan your body from head to toe, relaxing every part of it. Be with your breath, dear friends. We are going into powerful group meditation. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath. When you become aware of the emptiness, that calmness inside of you, all around you, as you merge into your breath. All emptiness is energy. The quantum field of energy, of limitless possibilities. The longer you stay connected to this quietness, emptiness, where there's no body, where there's no thing, the more you tune in to these possibilities, the more uncommon you receive into your life. everything that you ever experienced or will experience is here in this field as energy, as a possibility. The more you stay aware of it, the emptiness, that energy, the field of light, the more you tune in to the abundance of experiencing, the more miraculous you become in your life. If you find yourself distracted in thought, go back to observing your breath and allow yourself to find that emptiness, that blackness. an energy. When you empty your mind of thought, you move away from matter. You experience their energy. The field of creation. The field of wisdom and will. The longer you are with it, are emptiness. As no body, as no thing. The more insightful you become, the more will you become. Stay aware of the endless depth of the blackness, the energy spreading far and wide. This is the field of unpredictable. The field that is so unfamiliar. The more you are with it in this emptiness, the more familiar you become. The more unexpected you draw into your life. sees your greater mind, that awareness, the more you dissolve into this nothingness, the more you experience everything and everyone. Friends, at this time, I'd like you to express gratitude to all things and everyone. Can you express gratitude to your parents, to your teachers, your mentors, all the people in your life, your family, friends, colleagues, relatives, partners? Be grateful to this grand nature, the bird, the fish and the animals, Mother Earth, the sun, planets. Your gratitude to everything you use, the technology, the system, the companies, the governments. Gratitude to yourself into this intelligent universe. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. Recollect your experiences from the session. How did you feel? What have you seen? And whenever you're ready, you can keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds and then open your eyes. Okay, dear friends. Can I turn on the lights? Okay. Big pat on our back. 45 minutes of meditation. Wonderful way to conclude our day. How is it for you, madam? Richaji. Are able to go? Are able to lose yourself? Body became cold and then saw different forms of water. Okay. What happened for you, madam? Let's come here. Anybody else would like to say, how was it for you? Yes. So how was it for you? First time you said.
Wandering. Then I remembered to get back to breath. So, and as time went by, I felt it was much more calming.
Yes. Wonderful. Every meditation is a good meditation. No matter how we felt, no matter how many thoughts we had. Because the concept is, technical aspect is that we transcend time in meditation. And so we don't even realize that we went into emptier states. Even for a few seconds, we don't realize because we transcend time. The only thing you remember, mind is always looking for thought. And so when you have thought, you remember that and say, I had many thought. But many times you go into empty states which we don't recognize, like sleep. Suppose you went to sleep for 2 hours. You wake up and say, 2 hours I slept, others 5 minutes, because you transcended time there. Same thing happens in meditation. So that's why we don't judge your meditation. We simply are saying, oh, today I sat for half an hour, sat for 45 minutes, sat for 1 hour. That's all. We can never tell what really happened in your meditation because it's so unpredictable. We transcend time there. But it is, we know that we're taking time for ourselves, so then it's got to be, the process is that when you take for yourself and you're observing your breath, you're going into empty states for sure. That's the science, because where you place your attention, there you place your energy. So you place your attention away from thought, and so it's got to go down. That means your mind has to become empty. That means you merge into the field. So they all happen automatically, right? Okay. So we'll spend about 15 minutes and I conclude it's been a really long day. I don't like to really stay for this long. Generally complete by 7, 6:30. Next time, less time, madam. Karanmaya madam. Next time we schedule it for end by 6:37, not go on for too long. All right? Okay. We got to take it in bite sized. We don't stuff ourselves in too much of it. At least that's my philosophy. Okay. So let's just go off. All of this is not necessary now. Breath meditation is over. Experience we covered in the morning. So coming back to your attention, that if thoughts and feelings change our reality, then we are saying what are the ways to put our attention onto the right things that we want, and then we attract the things we want. And this is where we're calling it manifestation science, 5 sutras of manifestation, right? The first one in this is sorry again. Yeah, there you go. Develop focus, one-point mindedness. You develop focus, common sense. Startup companies succeed because you're focused on one thing. We got to make 20 dishes, maybe. But you're making one dish, you put all your energy into it, you'll make a real good dish out of it. But 20 dishes same time, probably your energy is spreading into many things. You don't know. The second thing is develop openness to possibilities. That anything can happen anytime. And so then why conclude on something and say, this is not happening, that's not happening. The lottery is over. I know a lottery is over today, but then can you tell that something else cannot happen? If you're open, a second lottery will come. The promotion is given. If you're open, suddenly your company is merged with somebody else. You got 10 promotions open, so you still get your promotion, right? So be open to possibilities, even though things seem to be not necessarily there greatly. You know, when things are going good, of course we're open and say this is going to happen. When things don't go great, we start concluding many things. So second is openness to possibility. Third is visualizing the future. Some sutras are about unblocking ourselves, like open to possibilities. You're not blocking your possibilities, you're not closing your doors. Visualizing future is some are about putting more energy towards your cause. Visualization is about applying a lot of energy. It's about dreaming. We all have dreamt in the childhood about how nice it would be to go and receive that medal for that execution, that sports thing and this and that. We visualized it and said, okay, I wish to be there. And so visualization is a way to think of your future ahead of time right now. And so then we're going to spend a lot of time tomorrow on this session where we talk about vision boards and stuff. The fourth thing is reprogramming limitations. Barracuda fish must come into mind, that elephant must come into mind. How it tied itself in its mind that it is tied to a big rope, even though it's tied to a small rope, it never tries to unleash itself, even though it has the power. So there are a lot of limitations in our mind about our capabilities, about finances, about this and that, about people. All of that has to be reprogrammed. The fifth thing then in this manifestation sutras is developing acceptance of life and expressing gratitude. Acceptance. Manifestation happens best when you don't resist, when you're happy in the moment. Then you are ready to visualize about future. If you're not happy in the moment, there's no way you can pull yourself up into thinking of a greater future. It's not possible. And so then we move into acceptance of life. And this is the entire spirituality in that principle. That acceptance is your fundamental spiritual aspect. That whatever happens, there must be a good reason of why I'm going through this today, and then come to an acceptance and conclusion. It requires us to do a lot of study and understanding, and so then eventually come to the conclusion, yes, it's okay. When I had to lay off the people, and then when the company became minimal, and it was very, very difficult for me to accept, and then so those are the moments then people will help you. But then later, then you recognize and say, the best things that are happening for you. And so how many people have that? When challenges come, you thought it was worse, but then later you realize it was one of the few best things that ever happened for you. How many people had that revelation? In the situation, it is really bad. But then later you recognize and say, yes, because of the job loss, I got into a great job. I was able to actually move into a new startup. I never could muster the courage to do it, but then I lost my job as I moved into startup. Something beautiful happened, right? So many things that happen, And so whatever may be, the last principle is saying you got to figure out a way to accept your current situation so that you are in a good vibration, so that you can visualize your future well, and then go in. Gratitude is a way to go into a high vibration. So the first one, and I'm going to cover through this a few minutes each one, then we conclude here. Developing focus means what? What is focus? Concentration. Developing focus is not concentration. We have a mindfulness test here. Now these two are doing something, but you all be focused towards me. How about that? Mindfulness. No matter what happens around, but we are focused towards what we want. This is the distractions of mind. Why should we bother about what others are doing? Yes? Okay. So the thing is, anybody wants water? So please go. I also got distracted. Okay. Yes. So focus is single point mindedness is not just being concentrating. It's, if you're emotionally not strong, you're not focused. If you are mentally not feeling great, then you're not focused. Your health is not good, you're not focused. Yes or no? Right? If you're thinking about 6 months later, you want this big India trip, 6 weeks of India trip, then you're planning, and then suddenly your health is not really cooperating, then suddenly you're off 3 days, 4 days, you're away from it, then you can't plan, isn't it? Right now you come to the basics. My God, getting up is a problem, my BP is a problem, this is a problem. So then suddenly you drop the notion, you can't even think about India trip, because right now, hello, my body is even not cooperating, we know this. So we get distracted because our health is not there. And same thing, you're trying to plan this, you want to go to Himalayas, but then so many rules are there, so many things are there, this way, that way, you're not able to learn. And you don't learn, then you say, oh, no, I can't do this, let's forget it, let's do it somewhere else which is more easier to do, right? Now learning has to be there, mentally you got to be strong. People say many things, but still want to hold on to it. You're doing your, what is this, the parikrama. Everybody will tell you, what, are you crazy or what? You got children growing, this and that, and then so they tell you many things to say how you should not go. But do you have a strong mind that doesn't get swayed? So focus is not just about concentration. It is about having great physical health, great mental health, and then great emotional health. Two people are arguing. Parent and child argue. And you wish for the great thing, and then they also, I know that you're also thinking, but then you argue, and then 10 days you don't even speak to each other. So then collectively you thought you should excel, but then 10 days you can't speak because they also don't get, if you don't have good emotional balance, then your manifestation suffers, right? So dear friends, we say the first thing to focus is to develop that strong physical health. Every successful leader, if you read their biography, they'll say they got a great fitness regime. They have a very strong fitness regime. It could be exercise, it could be yoga, whatever that is, but they take the time to make sure they're fit. And then when you do things like marathon, this and that, of course, you're becoming very mentally fit because you're taking something more non-normal. But for us, meditation is that one thing that's going to help us to gain all three, yes or no? Right? Meditation is giving us great mental health, physical health. So when was the last I checked out of office saying that I'm not well? Rarely, I don't even remember 20 years, or rarely. You never said, okay, I'm not well, I can't come. And so then your physical health is great, is there. Mentally you're strong, your abilities are there, you are ready to reskill. That neuroplasticity I talked about is to learn new things. If you want experience, you got to learn knowledge. You want a lot of astral travel, first you have to read books about astral travel from Lobsang, Rampa, this and that, then you move into it, you got to read that knowledge. Many people, of course, some people where they left from the past, maybe. But then otherwise, knowledge is precursor to experience. So if you have knowledge, then you can move into that experience. We went to Mount Shasta. Then if you didn't read about Mount Shasta, it's got so many waterfalls. You simply go 2-3 things, you don't come back. But if you read, automatically see the intention. So then you go and then do this waterfall, that one. You do your thing. It's very basic, right? So knowledge means a lot of mental abilities must be there. So meditation, dear friends, is improving in all areas. Emotional intelligence, you know it all. How we get regulated into the emotions. So the first principle that focus, then you're of course focused. Your mind is not wandering here, there, right? Today one thing, tomorrow another thing. The day after tomorrow, friend is saying, okay, go to Dallas, that 5-bedroom house there is cheaper, you go there. Next day you're saying, no, Raleigh is better. So it's shifting everywhere. So how can you get your house? Because you yourself are not clear. You're seeding so many intentions all over, right? And so, dear friends, focus requires that you are really there strongly in these different areas of emotions, right? In mental, physical, and emotional. Meditation is a great way of doing it. There are many other ways people suggest, and of course it's fine. It doesn't have to be meditation, but when you have something more wonderful, why don't you take it instead of trying everything else? There are so many mental techniques that increase your mental ability and focus. Of course you can do. Yoga you can do. Of course it'll increase your physical health. But alternative is meditation. The second thing, and so then again, let me skip all these things. We sort of covered this about. Second thing is about these possibilities. Infinite possibilities are there. Quantum physics is telling us that there are unlimited possibilities because everything is energy. We're all energy. Even the electrons, neutrons of our body are energy by default. So they're all simply sitting there as energy, invisible. Now that energy comes into matter, that means your experience is there. It's like this. You take water, two sources of water is there in two containers. Water, it is, you can touch and feel. Now let's say you heat it up. Then what happens? Water will become vapor. These also become vapor. Now tell me, once it becomes vapor, and at some point it will condense back into energy again, matter again. Now, can it happen right here only in the room? Can it go into the next room and then become water there again, condense? Can it go to the next town? Can it go to the New York? Can it go to the next continent? That vapor that is there now can free to go anywhere. Its matter is here, but then when it becomes energy, then it is going anywhere. And then it is only two sources. When it becomes matter again, water again, only two sources, that can become any number of sources. What do you think? The vapor can become 1,000,000 droplets, isn't it? So what's two sources here, but become 1,000,000 droplets? So the number of possibilities are how many? Any number, right? When energy is there, when you're dealing with energy, energy becomes matter in any combination. That's what is called possibility. A single water source now suddenly becoming infinite droplets of many kinds. It mixes with many things else and suddenly becomes something else. So many ways it can become. So same way as matter, we have few things, but as energy, there are infinite possibilities, a way to understand. There are many other ways to understand, right? So the point is that everything is possible. And so why conclude that something is not going to happen? Anytime, anything is possible. Now, I may not have qualification today to become a local council. Can I not become a council member? It is possible, right? It is just that if you think that, okay, today you don't have, so it's not possible. We are saying open to possibility is, rather than focusing on what does not happen, what does not work, focus on what can work. So you always have to ask yourself, when you want your green card, today 50 years wait time is there. Whatever I was told, okay? 15 years, okay. Can it move into 1 month or 2 months? You know it. All it requires is somebody to simply pass a rule and say, okay, chalo, everything is backlog, is finished. And so then why conclude and make a lot of plan and say, no, green card thing is like now it's really going for like 15 years, so let's not have it. And so then let me plan India, let's do this. So now what happened to your energy now? No longer a green card. It is there in everything else other than green card. Then how do you expect to get your green card then? You yourself are saying it's not possible. So open to possibility. Now, you want to do something, do it. But don't conclude and say green card is not going to come. Do it, whatever you want to do, because that's what intuitively feels like doing, do it. I'm not saying don't do any other action. Do what you want if you want to do, but however, still be hopeful your green card can come. You went to somebody for donation. It's also common, right? In PSSM, you want a donation for doing. You go to somebody for donation. They will tell you, this month is very tight, so I can't give you this quarter. Come back next. Then should we come and then say, oh, they said they're not giving, and so they're not giving, and then in a group meeting, yeah, I went there, they said they don't give, don't bother about it. Should we do that? At least be open in our mind that, okay, they said it. Who knows? They came, Krishna comes into them in the dream in the previous night, and then tell you, please go and support it. And he's ready to write a big check for you. Doesn't matter. All that limitation is gone for their mind. So many things can happen, and say, we are very, very open about anything that can happen anytime for me, so I don't conclude. So Bhatri sir said once, and he said, there are no conclusions, Baba, in your life. Momentarily it is there. To make a decision, you have to do momentarily conclude something. Okay, this time I have to make a reservation that I have to go there. That's all. You make a reservation. You got a phone call, you got to make a reservation, you made a reservation. But be ready. Next moment you're ready to cancel, because they'll tell you, hey, it's all sorted out. So be ready, right? So don't conclude. You're engineer. You concluded saying that he's a poor performance this year, and so gave him some rating. But then that's all. Next moment, next day, the engineer is motivated enough and come and then put a lot of effort. So then don't conclude and say he's an underperformer, so let me not give any work into anymore to him. And instead be open that that person can change, and so then he can be really, really useful asset for you. By concluding, where are the losers? We lose an important resource there. Maybe he's already changed person, like the Angulimala, overnight. We still think he's a thief. That's why I don't like this company rules, that they go back to history and say, 10 years we go and check your history and say, oh, okay, that company, you're not that great, and so then we won't give you a job. What a stupid rule it is. Because people have changed so much in 10 years, but then still go back into the history, do credit check and history check, and say something you did long ago, and so that we don't give you. So businesses lose a lot by having such very, very stupid rules, to me, because when things change on a dime, so why bother to stick on to such dogmatic theories? But this principle too, I hope you understand with me on this, that you do not conclude when things don't seem to happen. Instead, be very, very open about it, because you know it is a possibility that can happen. Yes or no? Is there anything that cannot happen? The doctors have told you all the time, this is impossible to heal. Can you tell with certainty that it won't heal? Just because medical doctors have said it's impossible to heal. They use the word, it's impossible. You're one in the rare million case, there is no cure for whatsoever. They tell you and then believe you. Do you think absolute certainty you can say that yes, it won't heal? What do you think? Can anybody tell with absolute certainty it can't heal? Can anybody tell? If that is so, then there are no miracle healings can ever take place. Because miraculously people tell, I came out of this, I came out of that. Then how is that happening then? Right? And so then, dear friends, when the answer is with certainty, you can not say, no, this is not happening. That means the possibility exists. And then we live and thrive on possibilities of happening. So we focus on that and say, yes, 1 in a million, there is a chance for me to open up and then recover. I'm going to be simply sticking my chance onto it and then put my attention onto it. That's all it is. Right? And so being open to possibility is the biggest requirement for manifestation, is that we are constantly, no matter what happens, we are constantly saying, I'm not going to shut my doors by myself. Keep my doors open all the time. Right? While I'll continue to do what is necessary, the university told me, no admission for you. Okay, fine. Then I want to do other things, I'll progress and process. But that be open, that 3 months later, the university can come back and say, now seats have opened, so come you give you seat. Yes or no? Many times it happens. So, but if you can't really bear that thing and say, okay, blindly, you want to do something, do, but be ready to change course. When that comes, now you might have gone this path and invested some money, did something, but are you ready to cancel that and take this when it comes? You will be ready if you are very passionate about this. If you're not passionate, it didn't matter, this university, that university, you simply take that. But if you're passionate, like I have to go to IIT, then absolutely, no matter what, you are ready to do here because you are clear that this is what you want. Right? Many times, we simply switch our options because we're not clear about what we want and why we want something. And it is okay then. You don't want the top university, you simply wish, but you're okay with the top 5, and so you're ready to take the 5th one and the 4th one. Then it doesn't matter. Then your manifestation still happened. Don't say manifestation didn't happen, because you are saying, I'm okay with any of them, and so it happens that way. Are you with me on this? All right? So the second one is open to possibilities. Is always be, do not conclude and then stay there. All right? So then I'm going to skip this whole lecture. In case you're interested, this is a very, very beautiful lecture about how this quantum physics is working with a video and all of it. There is a program called Yogam in our app right now. It is going on, and the Yogam is a 40-day program that's going on. And then we're on day 35. But then if you register for it, this video and all of it is there. If you register for the program and then go to day 15, the whole masterclass about how quantum physics is telling that possibilities are there, and then our thoughts bring the possibility into reality is explained through quantum physics. Day 15 lecture, you can listen, which I just skipped. And then it talks about, through science, that there are infinite possibilities, and so you can just be there. And they're holding on to that possibility, right? Because first we have to be convinced that it is possible. Any number is there. We have to be convinced, and for that, quantum physics lecture can help. So then third thing, dear friends, is visualizing a future. This we're going to dwell deeper tomorrow. This is simply saying that if everything is energy and energy becomes matter, then you simply construct an energy template. There's also in spiritual called astral template or an energy template. That means you are simply like an architect. What does architect do? Is the architect simply drawing, or architect is first constructing the house in the mind? They first create it in their mind. And then, of course, it gets transferred into the paper as a 3-dimensional house or whatever. So we need to construct our experience right there in our mind. The experience that you're seeking to have. Don't say, I've got to have $1 million in the bank. That's not an experience. What are you going to do with the $1 million? Is an experience, yes or no? Don't ask for, okay, I need a good husband or I need a great child. But instead say, what is the reason that you want to have a great child? What is it that you want? I want a great friend and a great boss. Okay, great boss means what? What experience? Okay, somebody allows you to be giving a lot of freedom because you have seen the previous one is really tough on you. Right? Somebody encourages you to do new things. If that's what it is, then you visualize about your future experiences. If you have clarity, then you will be able to visualize experience. Otherwise, simply asking for things and people and places. I would like to go to international travel. Okay, fine. So what do you want to do in international travel? What is it? Do you have clarity? Oh, my friends have gone. The other day they went to Singapore and all the Eastern countries. I also want to go. Not good enough. It's not good enough because you don't even know what you're going to do there. So how can you visualize about a future experience? You simply are saying, I would also like to go because they have gone. It's not good enough. When you simply compare, just because somebody told you, somebody did it, and you also want to do, it's not good enough, I think, for you to visualize because you don't have clarity. So that means you can't drive up a feeling about it. You don't know what Singapore is. You don't know what is there to see. Then how can you even think of a feeling about it? Other than simply intellectually saying, yeah, I'm going there. That's not good enough. We got to have clarity of what is that I want in my future. If I get that money, if I get that success, the promotion, that meditation center, the pyramid, whatever that is, if I read 100 books, so what? What are you going to do with all the knowledge? I'm going to share. People are going to come and say, you know what, that Jonathan Livingston Seagull just changed my life, and because of you. They're giving you that comment and compliment because you explained so beautifully about that book. So that's what you want to imagine. It's not about reading books. It's about then what do you do with it? You feel so much clarity is there that your life is going so smoothly, and then you are sitting down in your garden and then thinking about it and say, ever since you took to reading and the meditation, you are so beautifully flowing in life. So you imagine, you feel that moment. That's your future experience, and then that's going to drive you back in reverse direction and say, okay, you need a lot of knowledge to increase your understanding. To feel that way, then automatically you go into reading a lot. So the point is, it's about visualizing a future experience than to simply asking for people, places, things. Instead, what do you do with those people, places, things when they come into your life is visualization. Are you with me on this? Visualization is not about people, not about wishing a crore of rupees in the bank. It's about what you do with that money in the bank. All right? Turn to the person next to you and explain about these three principles. turn to the person next to you and explain the Sutra 1. What is Sutra 1? Focus. And I said focus is 3 things: emotional health, physical health, mental health, and all of that is there. Meditation develops greatly. Second thing is openness to possibilities. Don't conclude on anything. Third thing is visualizing a future. 2 minutes. Please share with each other. You're too fast. Okay. So then the fourth one is the limiting beliefs. 90% of our life is driven through limiting beliefs. How many of you remember when you woke up this morning and then came to this thing? What did you do from the morning when you woke up till the time you came here? Do you even remember what all you did? Or you rushed into it because you just were, the only sight is that, okay, I need to come here. And then everything else didn't matter. What you're wearing, how quickly you took bath, and then which way did you do, how did you get up? Many things we don't even matter because we do many things routinely without even knowing, because that is your belief, that the thing that formed in your subconscious patterns, that just simply do many things routinely. Many times you go to office, you drove half an hour, but you don't even remember how you went through, yes or no? That's your subconscious program of driving, is just driving. And 30 minutes have passed by, you don't remember. It's autopilot behavior of our subconscious mind, which is driving us through many, many programs like that, right? The moment you see some report about jobs, some company layoff, and suddenly it goes you into a spin and then talking about many stories about it, right? A subconscious belief of how tough it's going to be, life is going to be with the job market. Although, all we need is one job to be kept, and there are millions and millions of jobs are still intact. We're just worried about projecting unnecessarily, right? And so difference. The limiting beliefs have to be read. There are many, many limiting beliefs. I don't know if you can read it. My biological clock is ticking is the biggest limiting belief, which is making people age. Can you believe that? Our aging is happening because I am the one telling my body that I'm getting aged, and so then my body is aging and wrinkling with it, because you're telling that aging means I can't do, because people are also telling you, hey, be careful. What do you think you are? So don't eat too much. Your body cannot digest. Isn't it, madam? There's so many people tell our parents, don't eat too much. Your body will not digest. Oh, okay, my son is telling he's already IIT degree, must be true. So we also believe in very, very easily. And so you believe it, oh, if I eat more, my body cannot digest. So the day when you eat more, then what are you thinking now? Oh, it's not able to digest, so it won't digest. So all issues start. Because we are sending the signal to the body, communicating in a way that, so the beliefs are formed very, very much, and then a lot of culturally they are there. There is a big lecture on this. But the point is that we got to constantly look at these beliefs, and the way to look at the beliefs is by overcoming beliefs is by reading and reading and reading. Regular meditation builds awareness about what beliefs do I have. Before, they call false truths, by the way. They're all truths, right? Yeah, what is it? Of course, women have disadvantage in society. Yes? Is that true? Women have disadvantage in society? Not at all. Not at all. But then for many people it is true. Physically weak, and so then people are always suppressing, the male domination is there, and so then it is true. Yes or no? Come on, guys. It is there or not there? Huh? It is there, it is not there. That means you are uncertain. You see, you got to look at and say there are 8% of women who are in the boardrooms for you to believe that they're all successful, they're all entrepreneurs, they're all doing many, many things. What is different about that 8% and the remaining 90% are somewhere thinking? They believe in something, because what you believe is what shows up in front of you. Suppose your family is really not caring about it, say these guys just don't care, they don't respect women. Now see what you're saying. What are you saying? They don't respect women, they don't care. Now what do you have to create then? If thoughts create reality, what do you attract? So the same situation will show up in front of you to reinforce your belief that that is true. Our thought will reinforce the belief that is true. So especially when we say women have disadvantage, because one very, very successful doctor in LA, very successful doctor, she's on a board of some company, she's saying, Chandra, what are you saying? Of course there are so many beliefs, so many disadvantages. I see every day in front of me, people constantly, there are males, it's all male in corporate America. What are you saying? Of course I can't agree with you. I said, madam, if this is all you think, you will continue to attract those of so many more in front of you. You continue to believe because it reinforces to you. Our beliefs, they become truths because everybody is telling you, and then you believe in more of it, and then you see more of it, and so then it's even more truth. The more truth it becomes, more strong it becomes subconscious, then it's difficult to unseat it, right? It has to be, we have to step back, and so then the solution is to meditate to look into your subconscious and say, what is it that become like a big rope that I can't even cut it? Your neuroscience is telling that the more you experience something, more strong it becomes as a neurological circuit, and the more stronger it is, the more thicker. Initially it is a thin thread. 10 times, 20 times, 100 times, it become a thick rope. Now it takes time to cut the rope. Sometimes you can't. All right? And so the way to do it is you got to have a regular meditation. You got to have a regular knowledge. Knowledge is the only way to drop beliefs. Constantly talk to people. If you meet enough women who are empowered themselves, you will suddenly drop the belief that, yes, I have so many limitations. You'll absolutely drop the belief. All right? That's why Patri is encouraged to talk to constantly other meditators who are shattering many, many limitations for themselves. Right? And so the beliefs are going away, dear friends, when we acquire knowledge, which is through reading. Reading is nothing but lifetime experience of some masters, and then, of course, then talking to others, which is their experiences of how they overcame. Right? You say, my family is not coming to meditation. Talk to many other masters where their family came into meditation. They're going to share their experience. Oh, okay, so that's what my limitation is. And then you change it. Okay? And so reading and meditation, and the third thing for removing limiting beliefs is by creating a success belief, what we call a belief, an opposite statement. When you say my non-profit is very difficult to get donation because we are like not noticed. This is a belief. Very difficult to get donations here, nobody cares. Then you change a statement and say, in the quantum field of possibilities, we attracting abundant donations is there, and then we are getting it. Then you say something else. If Buddhas was raising donations, I too can do it. Because they're also similar from there. I don't know if Shankara Eye Foundation is raising donation and then becoming is doing a lot of great work. Shankara Eye Foundation, by the way, does a great amount of work. That founder is our mentor. They are like an eye care hospital, non-profit, but their quality of care is equal to any private organization charging thousands and thousands of dollars, and still their quality of care is same. They give free care. 90% is given free care at the same level of quality as a private sector hospital. But that's how they believed. That's how they power themselves. And then today, so many governments are behind them and say, open an hospital, we'll give you funding. Right? This is a different challenge. So what do you believe? You believe by taking some examples and say, I am raising donation tremendously, and an abundance of projects I'm doing. If Shankara Foundation can do, I too can do. He's also started, just like a medical doctor just graduated, he started his foundation, and so there's nothing, so we can relate to it. Creating an empowering belief is another way. And then you create an empowering belief, affirm it, it's enough times in meditation, your affirmations. And then slowly it becomes your new truth. Every time somebody says no donation, every time you challenge donation, suddenly this new statement should come. No, I'm not thinking old way. This is, I've made a decision that I'm attracting a lot of money, so absolutely it's happening for me. We got to switch to that thought, that circuit. That was the old circuit and say, yeah, I see, it's always is a challenge. I don't know how much we can do this program. We got to come out of that thing by having an empowering belief, dear friends. Okay, 3 ways beliefs can be reprogrammed. I don't think we'll have time to cover this lecture. We're going to focus tomorrow on visualization. So the last thing is, tomorrow we're doing only 1 session, madam, right? Not 2 sessions. By 12:30 we'll conclude. So the last thing is accepting and expressing gratitude. Okay. Acceptance, no matter what is happening to you right now, you want your leg to be healed. And you're visualizing and you got everything, yes, many things are happening to people, so I too think that my leg can be healed, my thyroid will be healed, whatever, my menstrual challenge will go away. No, all these things are there. I know my boss will dissolve into all kinds of stuff. But then next moment you are trying and then you go there, then suddenly your leg is like really hurting. And so you say, this is just not happening again. All right. Now we're not accepting. The thing is, how do I accept? How do I accept? Because the moment you go into that state and it's not happening again, which is bound to happen, then where is your energy? Of course, your energy is completely in the opposite direction, isn't it? Now, you accept when you start having an elevated understanding. Okay, today I'm like this because for several years I profess that my leg is not going to heal because experts have told me. You have your elevated understanding about the situation. It's because for several years I've said to my leg and say, this is not healing, not healing. So let me wait for a little more. Let me just bear it. I'm going to wait for a little more because I know if I didn't, then my tomorrow is going to be same as today. Some understanding has to come, elevated understanding, right? Or my situation is like this because when you know the law of cause and effect, the effect is there in my life today is because some cause is there in the past. Third, here is the thing, if somebody wanted a wishing that they wanted good time with the family, they wrote, I'm spending a lot of time with my family because they're doing too much travel, okay, too much travel. A lot of times we don't know what is the right timing. So he's doing too much travel, he wrote it visualizing, then company starts sending him for more travel, then less travel. He was traveling for 3 days, now he's traveling for 5 days. 3 months later he is calling and saying, sir, I don't know what's happening here. I wanted less and then more time with the family, but I'm traveling more. What should I do? I said, I don't know. There must be something there behind. You just patiently wait. I know that manifestation will work. Then 6 months later, he's calling and saying, sir, I'm not traveling at all now because my company transferred me to this new location because this prospect client is a big client. They wanted 5 days somebody to be there. So they made me travel a few days later. They said, no, it's difficult. So we'll transfer you. He got transferred. Now he is doing 0 travel. Every day 5 o'clock he is going home because he transferred into the local area. Are you with me on this? So then things may show up as different. Things may show up as a negative, but you don't know. But if you believe in the science, if you believe in this whole knowledge, then you are staying through. Accept what is coming as still in the path of happening. Okay. Now here is where the challenge is. The challenge is if there is a long duration, then many such things come, then it's difficult to believe. And that's when your meditation will give you messages. Somebody around you, like Navani used to give me messages and say, okay, I believe, I saw the vision, you're there, now you believe. And you saw the message and said things are happening, so you believed it. So messages will come. Messages will come. I went to Mount Shasta during this, my whole acquisition, by myself. 5 hours I drove, and then I heard there is a pyramid. By the way, there's a beautiful pyramid out there. You got to pay a little money, but you can meditate in it. I meditated in the pyramid because I just felt that weekend I was very, very frustrated a little bit. I said, I got to go, and then some calling was there. I drove 5 hours from Bay Area, went there, and sat in the pyramid, spent time in the mountain. I came back to the pyramid, meditated again. Something beautiful happened. When I coming out, and then a lot of bells were ringing and a lot of things were happening. As if, all my dreams are getting fulfilled. I had the feeling because they had a sacred labyrinth there. And I was walking in the labyrinth and suddenly many, many bells were ringing. Oh, it's like, they're all, the whole universe is cheering for me. In that moment, I knew that our acquisition happened. This is, 6 months later, acquisition happened. But I knew this is a sign that these are happening. I was in fact surprised. Is somebody like, artificial ringing bells, because a lot of bells were there in the garden. Then I saw, and in fact I was doubtful and saying, is somebody actually, I was coming out and then going through the labyrinth, and so maybe they're like, false mischief. Nobody was there. And so then I doubted, it stopped. Then I started walking again it started ringing. So you know it at that moment based on what you have. So any can be there, any type of message can be there. And then several other messages were there for me to believe that I'm on the right path. So you will have these messages, you've got to catch them so that you can walk the path without having doubts. When the doubts come, the message will open up in manifestation so that you can carry and then navigate yourself, dear friends. Otherwise, we abandon and quit, right? Acceptance is fundamental. That whatever it is, accept your current situation. Things are not happening, but continue to stay in thinking about your future. Figure it out. Whatever that is, you got to figure it out to be happy in the moment. That's all it is, right? More learning will help you, right? So, dear friends, so gratitude, of course, is a way. When I'm not able to walk and then you got this pain, can you be grateful that you're able to get up at least from the bed today? You're not able to walk, all right, but at least you're able to get up. Millions of people, more like 3 million people don't get up every day. So then, how grateful we can be. I think if you look at gratitude in many ways, then you will know that you are most luckiest person right now. Today we are talking about living a great life in an AC room, whole day, somebody is contributed and we're all sitting here. How much grateful we can be and how can we have challenges when there's so many people don't even have a life. We're talking about great life. What do you think? Yes or no, madam? We are here thinking of a great life and people don't have a life. They don't know they can be there. No jobs, no this, no that. And so, dear friends, gratitude is a way to find something out there. When I got rejected for 10 interviews, many people don't have even a call. You got 10 calls. You have a hope that you can get 11th call, yes or no? So, gratitude definitely can help us to move into acceptance. You'll move into the acceptance in a way, then you become coherent. When you are coherent, then you can dream about the future beautifully. Otherwise, then you are dreaming exactly opposite of the future. Are you with me on this? All right, friends. So, summing it all up, so then, dear friends, so we have these 5 sutras. What is the first one? Open focus. Second one, possibilities. This is the biggest mantra for every meditator, every quantum leader. A leadership has got to be really tacking onto this because they're always thinking about the future, not get stuck by the challenges that are there right now because they're open and say, yes, this is where I want to go. Third one, we're in the future. So you give energy to your cause and live the future right now. Put all the construction in the energy template so that it can become physical for you at some point. And then fourth one, belief system. They're called false truths. They're difficult to unsee because they appear like truths because everybody is telling you. And so most difficult. They're not negative thought. They're negative thought, all right, but they're truths sitting in your subconscious. You don't even doubt them. Like that barracuda fish didn't doubt. He simply thought, okay, now I tried and it's not this, that's it, that's the truth, right? So very difficult to identify beliefs, limiting beliefs, because they are truths sitting and nobody questions them, right? And so we need to be very, very aware and then reading. And then what is the fifth one then? Acceptance and gratitude so that you're in coherence with everything and so then you can continue to create a great future. Right, friends? So with these 5 sutras, we'll conclude here. So tomorrow, when we come here, we feel. So the visualization, for that we draw something called vision board. How many people have done this vision board exercise in the past? Okay, you're not done, right? When you become pros, then usually vision board is in your mind. It's not on your paper. But in the beginning, it's great to write it. And a lot of times, what we have seen, and when the vision board work is done, and generally since we are traveling all the time, And usually, under 2 years later, when we meet them, they're telling us, sir, my vision board 80% is over. 90% has come true. They write a few things, and then in 2 years, they're telling that 90%, 80% has come true. And how about that then? It is consistently, we've heard this again and again and again. So go figure, and then if you feel that you got a few things that you want to have in your life, then why not do that exercise, right? You may be whatever it is, you have nothing to lose by doing an exercise of vision board. So come prepared, and then be participative in life. Don't say that no, I don't want anything, everything is there, this and that. If nothing is there, can you wish that everyone in the planet become a great meditator? Can you draw a vision board about it? You can do that. If nothing is there, you can absolutely do that. So come for that, all right? And we draw a vision board collectively and say that Iowa is becoming a meditative city or whatever, a meditative state, all right, friends? So morning will come, there'll be some papers, hopefully organizers are giving you a chart paper. Are we giving? I should ask them to bring a vision board chart paper, and then some sketches and crayons and color pencils are giving. Okay, so simply come back, they're too good. So they got everything organized. We'll do that, we'll talk about visualization, how to set goals, and we'll draw a vision board, and then talk about the process to meditate. So we'll do a manifestation meditation tomorrow, right? And so then by the end of the session, you will have an idea that now how do you go about visualizing and drawing a goal, and then how do you go about visualizing for a great future, right? Thank you very much. All right.
Sorry, 1 month